Jesper, I know we've talked with you about this before, but when you went into this offseason, I know you had specific goals in mind. Where do you feel like you made the biggest improvements over this offseason?
I think it's just small details. It's nothing spectacular or something big that's changed. It was just small details into every aspect. I mean, how to score more goals in certain areas, and how to improve my strength and my speed and my agilities and all that stuff, and try to spend a lot of time on the ice this offseason with my coaches, and so far it's been working good.
Yeah, speaking of that, working good. You have 5 goals right now, 3 assists. I think those are your stats right now. What are you feeling in this preseason that has allowed you to show that offensive prowess right away?
I just think that the combination with me and Jack and Toffoli has been very good. Our neutral zone has been good. We come up with a lot of speed, and we're creating a lot of good rush chances, and we've been finding each other, and obviously we've been successful in taking our shots too. And I mean, it's just a preseason, and it's just going to get harder from here, but obviously it feels good to get a little confident from scoring his own goals and feeling like I contribute to the team.
You did sign that big contract, your longest contract to date with the Devils. Has that had any impact on just knowing that you're going to be here, that you're settled in a little bit more with your play? Do you think there's a correlation there?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I never really thought about anything. I'm very excited about the future ahead and what we can build on long term. But at the same time, I just take it year by year. I don't focus anything on the other years. It's this year, and I wanted to go into the offseason doing everything I can to be the best player I can.
You obviously, when you were coming into the NHL, 6th-round pick, and now you are getting paid like a superstar and playing like one as well. Do you almost still inside you have that sort of 6th-round pick, like, you know, underdog kind of mentality too?
I think that's always something that lives with you forever. That you can be such a great motivation factor to everything if you take it the right way. I mean, some people probably feel bad about it or hang their heads or anything, but I always try to see it as my motivation factor, and obviously maybe it's something that maybe doesn't come through my head every day, but there's obviously times when you remember that where I kind of found that motivation and stuff to work for, and it's definitely something that just makes me stronger.
You guys had a great preseason last year, good record this year, obviously, you know, undefeated. Taking that preseason success and translating it to regular season, what's the key to that?
Obviously, the postseason or the preseason and the regular season is a lot different. I mean, you never really know which team you're playing against or what team you have, but at the same time, I think we really build a good foundation in our system and our structure and with our speed and all that stuff that I think we brought every single preseason game. That I think as a group we can feel excited about that. It didn't matter what lineup that was put out there. We played really solid to our structure, and we used our speed, and we were deadly every time we were on the ice.
Was there anything about the postseason, Jesper, that you said to yourself, let's go back to the drawing board, for you personally, that you felt as though you needed to do even more in this particular area of your game?
I think there was things to improve. I think there was things that were really good, and I think there was obviously a lot to learn. It was my first real experience in the playoff, and it was for a lot of guys in the room, and I think we all just build positively from that to see what it was like, to see what you can do better, and also see what things that worked for you in that Rangers series. So there was definitely a lot of motivation factor, and also things to bring with you and things to improve.
I don't know if it's possible, but you do look faster out there in your small area game. Is that something that you wanted to improve upon? It's being quicker in those areas, small areas.
Well, the speed is always going to be one of my key elements. I mean, that's kind of what sets up the whole game for me, to be extremely quick and fast to get away with the puck from defensemen, or taking that quick step to get around someone, or just come with blasting speed through the neutral zone. I mean, that's kind of where my game builds. So that's always going to be my key thing to work on, to build that strength, but also that speed and quickness to create space for myself.
And what have you seen on the power play, playing on the power play, and how quickly things have gone, and you've had so much success in the preseason?
Obviously, we worked a lot on it, and I think we got a couple of chances on the power play, and both units has been playing really well, and we've been coming with great zone entries. We've been winning pucks back, and we've been doing these things that that needs to be key for power play to win pucks back. And we've been talking a lot about never giving away the puck and keep it to the system and share the puck with each other to create that momentum and speed and be kind of a positive effect on the team, even if you don't score every power play, to bring the momentum to the team in a positive factor. So something we've been working on, and obviously the longer the season goes, I think the better it's going to be, but it feels like the chemistry has already been starting being pretty well so far, so it's exciting.
What about getting some penalty kill reps? Lindy talked about it, using your speed as a specific reason why you're on that unit. What have you seen out of that time so far?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in that. I want to be a guy that can be on the ice in whatever moment that happens in the game. If we need a goal or we need to protect a goal, I want to be a guy that the team can trust. And obviously, I take a lot of pride in getting some reps on the PK. And obviously, with my speed, that's what I try to do. I try to disturb the other team with my speed, and I think also there with some practice and some going over some details, I think that can be a good weapon.
And just one preseason game left for this team. For the group that's playing tomorrow, what do they need to focus on against that Islanders team that did put up 5 goals against that group that did play here at Prudential Center?
It's going to be the same thing that we've been doing so far. I mean, the details to structure and how do we take care of the grade A chances in our own zone, and how do we play our system defensively, and we've been working a lot on our forecheck and try to see with our speed how dialed in our system we can be and minimize their chances, and obviously create as much offense out of zone entries and offensive plays as possible. I mean, every game in the preseason matters to us by preparation and setting the tone for ourselves.
I believe you and Nico now are the 2 longest tenured Devils. Does that mean anything to you at all?
Yeah, obviously it's a little crazy when you think about it that me and him are the longest. But I mean, we've been through so much together here since we came in from the first playoff to some tough years that we had to grind through, and then obviously now being a part of this team and still being us together, it means a lot for both of us, and I know he'll say the same. And obviously we just try to be great guys in the locker room and players out there on the ice to be a big part of this team.
You've spent some time training with Jesper Bratt throughout the years. When you look at his game right now in the preseason, him being able to put up 9 points already, what are the biggest improvements or next steps that he's taken?
I don't know. He's such a pro all the time, every day. It's just not just like something that just got there. Like, it's well deserved. He worked so hard for it. So it's I'm glad to see it working out right now, and I think he's going to have a really big year this year.
What about his speed? It looks like he's almost even quicker this year, and he's always been known for that speed. What did you see with the training that helped him get even more explosive?
It feels like every time I step on ice with him, he's always quicker and faster and smoother. So I don't know what he's doing really, but it's fun to watch, and it's fun to be able to be around him so close.
He talked to us a little bit about his motivation to be the best players, because part of it is he was drafted in the 6th round and you were drafted higher than him. But what have you seen about just making it to the NHL, what it takes and how it doesn't matter where you were drafted?
It's just like the work ethic, the everyday thing. You can just see it, Jesper, his mindset, coming to the rink every day to get better. Every time he's doing something, you want to get better. So it's just how like that mindset, I feel like it's a huge part that, really works for him.
Switching gears, final preseason game coming up for this Devils team. The Islanders have been someone you all have seen in the preseason. When you look at the game plans for tomorrow, what would kind of the main focuses need to be for this group, whoever plays?
It's always just like play our game. We play with a lot of speed here, so be strict defensively, work more on the offensive game, try to create more chances, and then work from there.
And you came in wanting to have a really strong training camp. You've really shown a lot. You've been playing with some great players. Just looking back now that it's been about a week and a half of this experience, what have you reflected on from being at training camp this year?
No, it's fun. It's real excitement to be here. We have a really strong group, so you just want to try to fit in here, be a player, and perform out there. So trying to fix some details things, and I think this can be a good year.
Lindy, Jesper Bratt has had quite the preseason. I know it's only preseason, but what have you seen maybe that next step from him so far in these exhibition games?
Well, for one, he looks even quicker than he did last year. I think around the puck he's been strong on it. His deception, on small ice has been real good. and he shot the puck really well. I mean, you look at that shot last night; it was on and off the stick in a second, and he's finding his mark. So he really has had a real good camp.
Lazar has talked about it. The fourth line this year, is it, with all the depth guys that you have, is it almost going to be sort of a rotation there? Is it going to have to be?
I think you're always one injury away. When you look at a lineup from, rotation, non-rotation. I think that right now, Curtis has had a good camp. We've got Bastion that's coming off of injury and has just got into the games here recently. So, and he's played well. So, Nate will play again tomorrow. But it really is a useful tool for us. Those guys that are on that line.
And how about what have you seen from Nosek so far this preseason?
Real good competitor. Penalty killer, a guy that can step in and maybe take some of that penalty killing time away from Nico, and we can put more Nico in a situation where after penalties are over, he can be on the offensive side of it. So, I think with him and Holla, you got two good left-handed face-off guys, and then with Nico is right in the mix too when it comes to taking draws, and you got Lazar and McLeod on the right side, which I thought face-offs were a big item for us last year.
What have you most been encouraged about this preseason, Lindy, at your club?
Just the speed we've been playing at, the determination to continue to try to get better. From game to game, we've worked on some stuff. I thought the Philly game we kind of fell back a little bit and didn't play that well. I thought our response after that game was real good. We know as a team that we're not going to surprise anybody. I think teams know what we're all about. We know we're going to be up to challenges. The teams will probably defend us differently at times, and we have to be prepared for that.
When you asked about the power play last night, you mentioned the play selection. Is that personnel? The way the guys are running the plays, or is it more coaching?
I think that it's both. Now you all of a sudden have a Toffoli who really understands the power play, understands where to go, where to be, where to support. When I talk about the coaching part, it's adding a couple different breakouts, or we can call them break-ins, when you're going into the zone where, we've scored a couple nice goals on entries. So it's a combination of both, different pieces in different places. You've got a unit that has a left defenseman now, so you're looking at a Luke Hughes who gives us a little bit different look too.
What have you liked about Ball's game so far?
Skating really well, defending well. He's got a physical side to his game. I think we're seeing a young man that's maturing and becoming the player we thought he could become. And we always say it's not easy to get there, and it hasn't been an easy road. And I think if you don't go through the struggles and you don't push through those, sometimes you don't turn out the player that you should be.
You said last year when the turnaround happened for this team that the preseason kind of gave you the confidence that okay, they can be good. Are you feeling that sort of similar confidence level this year?
Yeah, I think every team sets goals for the preseason. I think you want to look at certain players. You want to put certain players in different roles. We've tried some players in different roles. We've tried some different penalty killers. We've got some different power play combinations. But you play a game, preseason game. You're at the end of the day, you're playing trying to win the game. You're trying to create opportunities, and you're trying not to give up opportunities. So you look at the numbers. I thought our defending numbers were good, except for the shorthanded situations we gave up late. I thought our even strength game defending was good. I thought I didn't think we were quick enough or fast enough to get inside and create ozone time last night. So when you look at that, we know that we're going to have to be a better team in that area.
You said earlier, I guess last week, the two goalies, both of them are going to play a lot of game. Like right now, you don't look at a starter. You're not going to look at a starter for game one. But what are the conversations like with your goalie coach, Dave Rogalski, and how do those conversations go in determining who should play? Do you look at a lot of video? Is it a gut feeling? What is it like when you talk to Dave about the goalies?
Well, I think first and foremost, before the year starts, you talk about what would be a comfortable number for each goalie to play, and based on the schedule and how heavy it gets, after the first couple months, and looking at, trying to keep the goalies fresh once we get into those real heavy months. So those are the conversations we have that, will determine, how many games each guy gets. I mean, obviously play has a part of it, but I think still at the same time, if you have a plan and you can stick to your plan, it'll be good for both goaltenders.
We've talked so much about the on-ice product, but what have you seen with the culture and those new players who have come in off the ice? What have you seen out of this group?
Well, again, you bring a player like Toffoli, who's a Stanley Cup winner. He has been in the battles, has played for teams that have won. That raises the bar immediately. You bring a Nosek in who was with a real good hockey team last year, and they set a record for the amount of points a team could win. He knows what it takes. Detail. I think the room is pretty comfortable with each other. They're pushing each other. They understand what it takes. You take a Palat, now you take it to Foley, and all of a sudden you're mixing in a Nosek who knows how to play the game the right way. You've got some pieces that, some of the younger guys that haven't been there or haven't been that far can defer to.
I mean, I know what I see, but when you look at Jack, does it look like he hasn't really missed a beat and he's just picking up where he picking up where he left off last year?
Yeah, for me, he looks. He looks good. His skating is real good. Quickness. I would argue maybe his shot looks better. But I think that's not surprising. His curve has been going, straight up these last couple of years, and he's, he went through the first year I was here, went through some ups and downs, but that curve has been gradually, headed in the right place.